Hey, what's up, guys? Mike's here. Well, guess it's time for another part of Moth and the Flame, like the Voltron fanfiction story that I have been done creating this one. So, let's do this. Let's do a second part. Shall we? Alright, let's go. He doesn't mean to slam the door shut, but he knows the second he pushes that it's going to. He can feel the vibrations through the floor. As he trudges into the living room of their apartment, he can see Shiro look up out of the corner of his eye, probably to glare at him. Key doesn't look at him, can't be reprimanded if he doesn't look at him to see his hands move. Instead, he tosses it to go back on the coffee table and puts his knee up on the armed couch, letting momentum carry him forward to fall on his chest on the couch. He buries his face in the cushion, smelling of old fabric, Febreze, and cat. One hand flops over the edge of the couch, and he feels a nose poked at it. Without looking up, he scratches a nugget's head, slipping his fingers beneath her chin and cheek as she purrs. It's only a moment later that he feels the couch tip as Shion sits next to him. A tap on his shoulder. He groans loudly, but rolls onto his side, leaning against the back of the couch to glare at his brother. How did it go? He sighs. Pete rolls his head back again, groaning again as he flops an arm over his face. Shio nudges his leg a moment later, and Key peeks out from under his arm as his brother signs. There's a worried pinch to his brows and persists. I hope it's not that too bad. It's permanent now whether you like it or... Key cuts him up by waving a hand at him, then half-assly gestures to the bandage in his forearm before putting a thumb to his chest. Fingers splayed wide as he moves his hand away and rolls his eyes for good measure. The tattoo is fine. The worry in his face evaporates completely, mouth forming a small O, and then raises his eyebrows in obvious question, points to himself, then his eyes, before gesturing to the bandage. Can I see it? Keith sighs, but obliges by sitting up, half-heartedly shoving Shiro to the side and swinging his feet down to the floor. He removes the bandages carefully, exposing his forearm and eyeing the new ink for the first time since the parlor. Shiro takes his arm gingerly, turning it this way and that to get a good look at it. He lets out a long whistle. He can't exactly hear it, but he knows his brother's whistle of appreciation face well enough. With one hand, he lazily signs, "Looks good. He's very talented." Keith agrees with a simple nod, ducking his head a little in an attempt to hide a small smile he will form his lips. Lance is incredibly talented. Behind all that boisterous bravado is the actual talent, and Seal to back it up. Keith's body is a testament to that. He has several tattoos that are all a tribute to Lance's skill as an artist. Tattoos had always been part of the plan. He'd always known he'd get several in his lifetime. He just didn't expect he'd get his many in just under a span of a year. His wallet is hurting, but he's happy. And he blames Lance for both those things. Lance with his stupid pre-smile and his stupid pre-face. Lance and his innate ability to make Key feel comfortable and at ease and normal. It is something he usually only experiences in family and close friends. And now, Lance. When Paige had first gotten a job as a piercer at LT, she had convinced him finally to get his first tat. He'd been putting off for years. It's not that communicating with people is impossible. He speaks fine, more out of muscle memory than anything. And after spending years without his hearing, he's grown used to having to communicate by reading lips or patiently waiting for people to write down what they want to say. It's not easy, and it's not fun, but it's manageable. It's his life now. But that doesn't mean he was exactly looking forward to trying to hash out the details of a tattoo via scribbled sentences and half-assed gestures. That's where Paige came in. She told him that her co-workers were nice and patient and understanding, and that she'd be here to help translate for him. He finally gave in, and he's glad he did. When he had arrived, Allura had been at the front desk. Paige had introduced them, and they shaken hands, and she went on to explain Keith's predicament, sighing as he spoke to keep him in the conversation. They had gotten far before Lance had settled up into the group, putting a hand on Laura's shoulder, telling her that he had this, and giving them all a winning smile. The whole heart skipping a beat thing was soured by the way his cockiness grated on Keith's nerves. Pidge had told him to stop his bad flirting, to which he surprised him all, but not only saying but signing. "Excuse you? My flirting is top notch." They all had gaped at him, mouths hanging open in nonsense, as he turned to Keith, giving him an amused wink. "How you doing, handsome?" Alora had handed the job over to Lance after that, and Pitch hesitantly a step aside, where suspicion went across her features, and, surprisingly, everything had gone smoothly. After the initial surprise had worn off, Lance had easily slipped back into professionalism, his cocky charm still there, coating like a second skin, but taking the back seat as he talked tattoos. They talked about what he wanted and where, talked about the details, discussed different options. Lance listened to his thoughts, offering his own ideas and giving Keith his professional opinion. He followed along with Keith's hand just as easily, setting his own with a lazy ease that came from years of practice. He pulled Keith in, putting him at ease without him really realizing it, made him laugh to the point where Pitch gave him an odd, knowing look from across the room. As Lance set up his station, they continued their small talk. He told Lance how he and Pitch had known each other for years, had met through their brothers. He told him that he started to lose his hearing over 10 years ago, and had been completely deaf since he was 17. He learned that Lance's little sister had been born deaf, and that his whole family had learned ASL as a result. Learned that his family spoke English, Spanish, and ASL fluently and intermittently at home. From that day onward, Keith had found himself coming back time and time again, whether it was for his own tattoos or to hang out with Pitch. Shiro finally let his arm go, using both hands to sign. "I wasn't sure what to expect, but this is better than anything I imagined." "Yeah, he did great." Keith looks down at him, tilting his arm to catch the light. He hadn't known what to expect, whether when he told Lance he wanted some kind of artistic interpretation of his mom's old knife tattoo on his forearm, but Lance had really outdone himself. Mostly black with purple shades to highlight it, the ink stands out beautifully against his pale skin. He clenches his fist before relaxing it, watching the muscles and tendons dance between his skin. Beneath the ink, beneath yet another mark Lance had left on his body, negative space completing the design. He thinks about Lance's hands on him, on those long-lived fingers, skilled and precise and incredibly gentle. Thinks about how Lance's head bobs as he works, lips moving to whatever song is playing on the radio. He has no idea what Lance's voice is like, but he likes to think he's a good singer. He knows visual keys well enough to pick up on the ease and confidence with which he sings along. Keith likes to watch him. There's not much else to do. They don't talk much while Lance is working. He'll ask occasional questions, but it's hard when his hands are full and busy. He doesn't mind. It's calmful silence. He always tries to distract himself with his phone, switching between apps mindlessly, and his eyes always wander back to Lance, sweep over his face, take in the sharp features and smooth skin, those gorgeously beautiful eyes, the upturned nose, and the way his smooth lips form words that he can't hear. Lance has caught him staring a couple of times, but doesn't say anything about it. Just gives him a small smile and maybe a wink before going back to his work. Goes to that smile in place as he continues to sing along to the radio, practically preening under the confirmation that Kit is watching him. Kit is pretty sure having heart attacks isn't normal when getting tattoos, but he's pretty sure he hasn't been able to get one without having several. Movement catches his eye. He looks up to see Shiro holding his hands up, letting him down forward, the palms up, question clear on his face. "So?" Keith raises an eyebrow, waiting for clarification. Shiro rolls his cutter. "Did you ask him to the concert?" Keith's arms drop as he flops against the couch, letting his head to loll back with a groan. He makes it extra loud for added effect, feeling his vocal cords vibrate. Shiro's smile is sympathetic and understanding, but it's not enough to hide his amusement. "What an ass!" "Ah, so that's what that was about." Keith flips him up. Shiro chuckles. Keith can't see it. despite his efforts to hide it. It's not too late. You know, Keith makes a few quick gestures before crossing his arms over his chest, shoulders hunching his crowds, and his soul is scowling, not pouting. Nope. It is. You already brought the tickets, Shiro points out. Keith says, I know. A few seconds pass before he glances at Shiro out of the corner of his eye. Wanna go with me? Shiro laughs again, this time making no move to hide it. He shakes his head, laying a hand on Keith's shoulder and squeezing reassuringly. Good to know that I'm just your second choice. He signs a teasing light in his eyes. Keith huffs, looking away and sinking a little lower on the couch. He chickened out. He knows he did. He f***ed up. He had been ready. Spent hours before his appointment pumping himself up, feeding himself confidence boosters and threats in the mirror, building up the armor around him, ready for battle, shield and sword. Then when faced with Lance's easy smile and liquid eyes, his defenses crumbled, tore his armor apart, ripped his shield away and left him exposed, raw, vulnerable. Yeah, it sucks that he never got to ask what he wanted to do. Yeah, it sucks that he missed his chance, but at the time, all he could think about was how rejection would have hurt even worse. He could have just pulled off as friends. Could have, but he didn't. He doesn't want to be just friends. He wants Lance. All of Lance. Wants to beat him at video games. Wants to hold his hand. Wants to steal his food. Wants to cuddle him on the couch while it rains outside. Wants him in his bed, hot and needy and out of breath. He wants it all. Too bad he's too chicken to take the first step. Shiro pushes himself to his feet, and Keith glances up out of reflex. When he catches Shiro's eye, the man smiles. Don't feel too bad. You never know what might happen. You could be surprised. Keith's eyes narrow, lips pursing. His hand motions are short, slow, and precise, demanding. What do you know? Shiro smiles at her and she bits as he backs away. Nothing. Shiro! He roughly makes his brother's name sign, but the man has already turned around, striding toward the door, keeps his lead to his feet, and prepared to charge after him. Shiro! He says, low low in warning. He swipes his keys off the table and turns to face him. Go run some errands. Later, bro. He's out the door before Keith can stop him. His phone buzzes with a text a moment later. Shiro, for the eyes. You can't hear me, but I want you to know I'm laughing all the way out to the parking lot. You're fucking dick. What the hell was that supposed to mean? What do you know? Love you too. And guess you have to wait and see. That's the text thing that they're supposed to be doing. And second thought, I can't do a sign language because okay, I don't know how to do a sign language, guys, so I'm not pretty good at sign language because I suck, okay? I suck at language, but I really want to have to teach themselves how to sign because I might be like something because I'm not deaf, okay? So yeah, that is the end of the video. And what is his name again? I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Witty name of Archive of Our Own. So if you're watching this, well, thank you. I'm gonna give you a shout out right now to this person who wrote this one. So keep it up. I hope you have more of Voltron fanfiction that you're gonna be seeing. But okay, guys, that is the end of the video. And subscribe, watch more videos. That's all you need. Okay, guys, that's the end.